I was just about to film this video and there's a really beautiful, massive rainbow outside my room. It's like coming out of the sea and like ending in the sky. It is so cool. Hi everyone! Today I'm going to be talking about coping skills when you're going through recovery with an eating disorder. Hopefully my tips and coping skills I talk to you about can help some of you. The first thing I want to talk to you about is the voice of anorexia. Anorexia is something that is in your head that is constantly telling you that you aren't good enough, that you won't be good enough until you're skinny, that you keep needing to lose weight, all these horrible things it'll keep saying to you. Anorexia is a bully inside your head. It's something that's telling you you're not good enough. It's something that's constantly making you feel inadequate and that you won't be good enough until you're skinny. But I want you to make sure that you differentiate between your mind and anorexia. You aren't anorexia. You suffer with anorexia, but you aren't an anorexic. There is something in your head that is telling you that you need to do all these different things, but that's anorexia telling you that. It's not you. It's your mental health, it's a disorder, it's your eating disorder that's telling you all these things, and you need to be kind to yourself because this is just not part of you. This is something that is happening to you, but it isn't part of you. My coping skill for dealing with the horrible bully that is anorexia in your head is a technique that I learned in therapy a few years ago, but it's something that I still use today, and it's something that will take a while to get used to, but if you keep using it, I really think it could help you. You will have so many anorexic thoughts a day, even things that you might not even think are anorexic thoughts anymore because you're so used to them. There are so many in your head, whether it's telling you you're not good enough, whether it's telling you not to eat, whether it's telling you to make an excuse up for why you're not eating. You have so many anorexic thoughts a day, and this is why it will take a while for this technique to work. But the first thing you'll need to do is detect when you're having a bad thought. So as soon as the kind of niggling starts coming in of you're not good enough, of you need to skip this meal, whatever the negative thought that comes into your head is, you need to detect it. And that's the first thing you need to do. Just say, okay, that isn't me, that is the anorexic thought, that is something that is telling me I'm not good enough, and just detect it. That's all you need to do. Then kind of say, okay, that's really great that I've actually recognised that I'm having a bad thought rather than it being a part of me. I'm really glad that I've managed to catch this thought while it's still here and I've not let it affect me yet. The next thing you need to do is say, okay, I'm having this thought, it's happened, what are we going to do about it? I'm going to do something to distract myself from this thought. This thought is not me. This thought is something that's happening to me. It's not a part of me. I don't actually feel like this. This is the anorexia talking. What am I going to do to distract myself from this thought? What am I going to do to not play on this thought and not let this thought get to me and not let this thought consume me? I might go for a walk, I might talk to my friend about it, I might write in my diary about it, but make sure you detect the thought, and it's really great if you manage to detect the thought. I know it's quite difficult to hear because it happens all the time. You're constantly having thoughts that are telling you you're not good enough, that are telling you you need to skip the next meal. You're constantly having those thoughts, and that's why it takes such a long time. But each and every time that you detect that thought and you avert yourself away from it and say, okay, I'm not going to even give the anorexic thought the time of day, I'm not even going to let it consume me. Yeah, I had that thought, but that's because I'm so used to having these thoughts. I'm just going to leave it where it is and just let it flitter away, and I'm going to concentrate on something else. Each and every time you do that, you are closer to getting rid of these thoughts because the more you detect them and avert yourself away from them, the easier it will get. My second thing I want to talk about is identifying how you feel. A lot of anorexics say that they feel fat a lot, when we know that feeling fat isn't actually an emotion. Usually when you're feeling fat, there's actually something else that you're feeling underneath, and the first thing that I want you to do is detect how you're actually feeling. Are you feeling lonely? Are you feeling depressed? Are you feeling upset about something? Did somebody say something to you that made you feel upset? Are you angry at someone? I really want you to try and detect what you're actually feeling. I know that can be really hard, especially at first when you're used to just feeling the way you're feeling and not actually thinking about it, but just the next time that you feel fat or you feel not good in your body, trying to think, okay, what am I actually feeling? What is it that I am emotionally experiencing? That's the first step. The next step, once you've actually identified how you feel, whether it's lonely, whether it's sad, whether it's angry, you can decide how you want to positively help yourself in that feeling. Are you going to phone your friend or your mum or your dad? Are you going to write it in your diary, journal how you feel? That's really, really great technique, which is really, really helpful for people. Are you going to go for a walk? Are you going to do some crafts? I always find that crafts are a really great distraction for me when I'm feeling anxious. Try and start thinking, okay, I'm feeling fat or I'm feeling not good in my body. What is it that I'm actually feeling? Am I feeling that I'm not good enough? What is it that I'm actually feeling? And try and positively help yourself to feel better. My next thing I want to talk about is an actual food plan. Something that's really great, especially if you're just entering recovery, is to ask somebody you really trust to help you make a meal plan. Making a meal plan by yourself can be such a daunting thing, but at the same time you don't want somebody else to completely control your food plan, because you need to have some sort of control so that you feel a bit better about the whole eating experience, because I know it'll be so hard. So try and ask your mum or your doctor or your friend to try and come up with a food plan that's healthy for you and that's actually making you better, but at the same time you're still in control of it and you still know what you're going to be eating throughout that day. It's not a surprise, it's not, okay, this is what's for dinner, you have to eat it now. Try and interpret meals that you used to love. If you used to love pizza, if you used to love pasta, try and think what you used to really like and try and interpret them into your weekly food plan, because that can really be an incentive of, oh, I did used to love this meal, I'm going to try my best to eat it. Also, this is a great opportunity to try new things. Even if you don't like the new things you're trying, try your best to try everything. There's lots of meals out there that you haven't tried yet, and let's just challenge yourself to try new things while still feeling comfortable. Just little bits and drabs, small tiny steps are the way forward. My next tip is one that I really want to talk about, and that's about using the internet for good. It's very easy to get into the deep dark web of anorexia, where people are talking about what's the best tips for losing weight, the best excuses for skipping meals, all these kinds of things, which you know are really not great for you, but they're easy. They're easy to just go onto these sites and they're easy. But there is a massively amazing alternative. For the past couple of weeks I've been looking at different Instagram accounts that are people that are suffering with anorexia but that are in recovery. YouTube channels. There are so many YouTube channels that are centered around mental health, and some that are even centered around just purely anorexia. There are so many positive ways that you can use the internet for good. I found a girl on Instagram the other day that was, I think her name was Life of Haze or something like that, and basically she'd been through anorexia and she was in recovery, and she posted every single day, every single meal that she had, every single snack that she had, and it's so inspiring to see somebody that was this time last year, this time 6 months ago, really uncomfortable with eating, and now she's actually enjoying food. And I'm not saying you need to be enjoying food yet, that's a really way off kind of thing, but just looking at all these people that are in the same situation as you can really help you, one, not feel alone, and two, feel really inspired that they're making all these steps. If you just make one tiny little step a day, you will get there one day. I know it's difficult to stay clear of the unhealthy websites out there because they're all over the place, but the Instagram accounts and the YouTube channels that are actually doing good will make you feel amazing, and they'll make you feel inspired and that you can recover. My last thing I want to talk about is hobbies and passions. I know this has probably been drilled into your head for a long time, but it's so important. When you have anorexia, it kind of feels like your whole life revolves around food, even though you're not eating as much. But what I want you all to do is find a passion or a hobby that you absolutely adore that isn't centered around food, that has absolutely nothing to do with food. This is a thing that when you're really at a time when you're like, oh, I cannot deal with this anymore, you can go away to this hobby or passion and you can get involved in it, completely engrossed in it, and not think about anything else. It might be easy for you, you might already like something, a sport, reading, writing, you might already be really happy with something and really love something, which is really great. But for other people you might think, there's nothing that I really enjoy, there's nothing that I absolutely adore and that makes me forget about everything else. But I promise you that there will be something out there for you, you've just not found it yet. Try art, try photography. Is there anything that you've always wanted to do but you've never have done? Try getting into politics. Try getting into making YouTube videos about your anorexia, about recovery, or about something completely different, about makeup, about hair, about beauty products. Find your passion, even if it's like colouring. I really find that really useful. I can spend a whole day just colouring in, and by the end of the day I feel accomplished. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to find your hobby or passion, just try lots of different things and see what works for you. I've just remembered one more thing that I really wanted to talk about, and that is, it's okay if you're not doing anything. It's okay if you don't have a job just now. It's okay if you're not at school. It's okay if you're still in hospital. It's okay if you spend most of your days in bed. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Recovery is totally different for everybody. There is no two recoveries that are the same. Don't feel like you're not getting better because you're not doing anything. Don't feel like you're being lazy. Feel like you are doing what you need to do to get better. If you are in school or if you are in a job just now, that's great. You can still recover whilst being in a job or being at school. But just remember, you are not lazy, you are not attention seeking, you are not any of these bad things. You are just doing what's best for you, which is to recover and to take time for yourself in order to be the best person that you are. I hope some of these tips were useful for you guys. I really enjoyed filming this video. Make sure you always use small steps and keep encouraging yourself, and you will get there. Even if it takes 6 million trillion years, you will get there. You will. There isn't one set way to recover from an eating disorder. These kind of tips or whatever, they're just a guideline for different ways that you can help yourself. There are so many more ways that you can help yourself and get others to help you and all that kind of stuff. These are just a couple of things that I thought are useful. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get there. It doesn't matter how long you don't have a job for. All these things don't matter as long as you are making tiny little steps. Even you might not even notice these steps, but even if you're just making tiny steps every day or every week, you will get there, and I hope that you get there soon and that you manage to find peace and happiness. Thank you so much for watching this video, and bye!